Everybody is considering moving to Philadelphia in 2025. However, there are 5 things that you must consider before making your decision. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 reasons why you should not move to Philly in 2025. Everyone talks about the positives, but let's balance that out and talk about some potential negatives. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, this is Fuhrman and welcome to my channel, Living in Center City, Philadelphia. If you are hoping to make a lifestyle change and are trying to figure out what it's like to live in Center City, Philly, then this is the channel for you. So make sure to tap that subscribe button below and click that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified each and every time we publish a video just for you. And we actually get a lot of folks that are reaching out to us looking to relocate to the Center City, Philly area, and we love helping them out on their journey. So if you're thinking about making a move and have any questions about the market, particular neighborhoods, the vibe, the lifestyle, or really anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Just shoot me a quick email to chris@meetchris.com. All right, let's dive into my top 5 reasons why you should possibly not move to Philly in 2025. The first reason to consider is taxes, and in particular, the Philly wage tax. If you live in Philly, or even just work here, you get hit with the wage tax. Now, thankfully, it's been on the decline recently, but it is still a 3.75% tax on your wages if you live in Philly. It's lower if you're outside, but you still work here, you still get hit by that tax. So you'll have to weigh this cost when you're making your decision whether or not to move here. Now, many folks do relocate to Philly from a higher cost of tax area like New York City, so it's normally a wash or lower, but you're gonna have to figure out your particular tax situation and keep this in mind. So you'll need to consider PA's state tax if you're relocating from a different state as well, and of course look at all the minutiae of the taxes. Now personally, I think Philly and Center City in particular has a lot to offer to make this wage tax worth it compared to other big cities and what it's like to live there. All right, our second reason why you may not want to consider moving to Philly is traffic. Just like any major city, Philly deals with traffic as well. If you're going to be living in the city but working outside of the city, traffic will most likely be an issue for you. If you're heading north or northwest, you're most likely going to need to hop on the Interstate 76, which is called typically the Schuylkill Expressway. Now, traffic on the Schuylkill is fairly annoying, and unfortunately the road was built between the Schuylkill River and a mountain, so you can't exactly widen the road, and it has gone worse over time. So if you live in Philly, but work in an area like Conshohocken to the north, you may want to consider an alternative work schedule or hybrid work from home option in order to limit your commute days. Now, my 2 cents would just be to move into Center City and get a job in the city so you don't have to drive outside for work. If you live in Center City, you can walk to many offices or easily access SEPTA, Philly's public transit system, or ride a bike or a scooter to get to many of the companies that are located right here. Philly is one of the most walkable cities in America, in case you didn't know that. The third reason why you may not want to move to Philly is because we are dirty. Yes, Philly is a dirty city. Now, we aren't the dirtiest city. According to some studies, that's Baltimore or Newark, New Jersey. We aren't the cleanest for sure. Now, if you're coming from the suburbs, this will be an adjustment. If you're coming from a major city, New York City or elsewhere, might not be so much of an adjustment. The one great benefit if you're living in Center City in particular is the Center City District. Their mission is essentially to make Center City clean and safe, to supplement really what the government's already doing. Now, some of these services that they provide are to clean dirty sidewalks and pick up litter. So this very much helps the Center City Philly area in particular be cleaner and also safer. And we'll get to crime and safety in a bit. But before we move on to my 4th reason here, as much as we love making these videos, we love helping people relocate to the Center City, Philly area even more. So if you're remotely considering moving to the area in the next few months or even the next few years, it's never too early to start getting actionable information. So call, text, or email us, and we would love to help you out on your journey. You can just shoot us a quick email to chris@meetchris.com. All right, let's talk about my fourth reason why you may not want to move to Philadelphia in 2025, and that is our weather. If you're coming from the West Coast, Philly is going to be an adjustment. While we're certainly not the coldest city on the East Coast, be prepared to dress in layers in the winter to stay warm. During the winter months, expect daytime temperatures to be somewhere in the 30s or 40s and to have snowfall. Unless global warming keeps going on, then maybe it'll be in the 70s in winter. Who knows? But historically, it's going to be cold in the winters. So if you don't like to be cold, Philly may not be the place for you. However, we do get beautiful seasons, so the variety is fairly nice. I've actually lived in San Antonio, Texas for about 18 months in the past, and the one thing that I missed was the seasons. And Philly does have a very beautiful spring and fall time here, where it's very pleasant to get out and about and explore the city. If you're comparing Philly to Boston or New York City or Chicago, in my opinion, the weather here in Philly is much nicer than those big cities. To each his own, just my 2 cents. And real quick, if you found this video helpful thus far, it would mean the world to me if you wouldn't mind going below and clicking that like button so that YouTube knows I'm putting out some helpful content. And let me know in the comments below what possible questions or concerns you have about moving to Philly, and I'd love to help you out. All right, the fifth and final reason why you should potentially not move to Philly in 2025 is the crime. Now, I'm sure you expected this one and may have some concerns yourself. To some, Philly has the perception of being a violent city, a city that is unsafe. I would say that's the general perception that we have in America for Philadelphia. I don't even think it's just some. I think it's the majority opinion that think that Philly is unsafe. This topic is difficult to discuss as it is all relative to where you're coming from. If you currently live in an affluent suburb in a gated community and drive everywhere, moving to any city is going to be a massive adjustment for you, especially for the perception of safety. Now, crime stats definitely do put Philly on the map. For example, some sources show Philly as having slightly more crime than Chicago and more than New York City for sure. However, again, crime stats are relative, and really to understand them, you have to understand the context. For example, if you're a tourist coming over to visit Philly from another country, let's say, is that unsafe? Well, 35 million people would say Philly is not unsafe, as that is around the amount of tourists that come to Philly each and every year to check out America's historical sites, etc. What I'm getting at is that each area of the city, each section, has its own safety score, and you need to consider that area in the city that you're interested in living in to really answer the question, is it safe? And then also define what safety is for you. The Brookings Institute, a nonprofit and nonpartisan organization, published a very interesting and insightful report back in 2023, analyzing perceptions versus reality in 4 major US cities. And Philadelphia was one of them. In this research, they talk about how crime has increased or decreased in recent years and get into crime by location. It's really fascinating if you read it, but one of their conclusions is, and I quote, "Local data on property and violent crime shows that in New York, Philadelphia, and Chicago, downtowns are some of the safest places to be." Oftentimes, perception is that the downtown of a city is more dangerous, but the data, i.e. the reality, according to Brookings, seems to indicate that downtowns, and that would be Center City and Philly, appear to be the safest places to live, at least in their study. So in conclusion, with crime and safety, you need to decide for yourself what you are comfortable with. The city has a lot to offer, and yes, you do need to be cautious and aware of your surroundings, just like any major city. My 2 cents is that this is a great reason to consider living in Center City, Philly in particular, because according to Brookings, they say the downtown areas of cities are the safest areas. There are many diverse neighborhoods in Center City, Philly, so it's not just one area. You have so many options in the Center City, Philly area, so make sure to subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell so that you don't miss any of those videos. And if you're curious to learn more about crime and safety in Philadelphia, click this video right here. And if you want to learn more about other neighborhoods in Philadelphia, click this video right here.